HSLayers offers quite a few data management tools which we are going to present here. There are tools for storing and loading layers. We can even create new layers with the drawing tool. And then there are tools for saving, loading, and sharing map compositions. All of this is similar to what we have seen in QGIS with the Layman plugin installed, but without the need to install or set up anything on your computer, as we are going to work solely with the web application. Okay, let's see it in action. First thing what we need to do is to log in to the web portal, which encapsulates all the tools. So let me click sign in here, fill in my credentials, and after that I will select map from the menu. Here we see a web mapping application with some interesting tools. And let's start with map layers. This is hidden under this icon. We call this the data sources panel. And you can see on the very top of the panel, there are 4 tabs. The first 2 tabs are connected to metadata catalog, to MITSCA catalogs. So as you can see, there can be even more than one metadata catalog connected to the application. Here then is displayed the listing of available data layers in this metadata catalog. You can filter and add layers to the map. But let's now focus on Layman. This is basically similar to QGIS plugin, which is connected to the Layman storage, and this step is the same. You might be confused why there is a login again, because we have already logged in the portal in the beginning. But you have to remember that Layman is different application than HSLayers. So we don't have to really log in again, but we have to authorize HSLayers for the access to the Layman storage. So if I press login, I don't have to enter my credentials again, but simply authorize HSLayers. And now we are logged in. But as you can see, I have no data so far in the Layman storage, so let's put there some. One of the ways how to do it is to switch to external data tab. Here we select the type of the data. As I have shapefile, I will select shapefile. We are saving to Layman. Now I will select those files and enter some necessary attributes. And when I press add button, let's hope it will add the layer to the Layman. Okay, switch back, and we can see that there is already one layer in Layman, and it's this one we have just added. Now if you want to add this layer to the map, press this blue plus button, and there is this option whether to add this as WMS or WFS. For the sake of the rest of the presentation, I will select WFS because this one is editable. So add this one, and here we go. We can even identify now the polygons and browse through the attributes of the layer. Okay, now let's try to add some more data. As we have seen, there are some data in metadata catalog. So we will try to add, for example, those first one. It's WMS service, so So we have to select some of the layers to display and add it to the map. And here it is. The COVID-19 layer now got hidden, so let's move it up here. Okay, so that was data sources panel. Now we might want to create a whole new layer, empty layer. That is when the drawing toolbar comes in handy. So let's switch to this tool. And you can see that it offers to create features of 4 basic geometries: points, polygons, polylines, and circles. So let's select point, for example. And you can see that now we are drawing to layer COVID-19, which is the layer we have added few moments ago. And it's not probably what we really want. Because if you remember, I've added this layer to the map as WFS, which is editable layer, and all the editable layers are offered here for editing. But for the sake of presentation, let's create a new drawing layer for those points. Okay. And now draw some points to the layer. Those new points are automatically synchronized to the layman layer. So this layer we have just created is already stored in layman, and all the geometries, all the features we have drawn are stored there. We can check this by going back to data sources, and you can see that in layman we already have this layer stored. Okay, as we have added some data to the map and created this nice composition, we might now want to save this as a composition to the server for later use or for the sake of sharing with others and so on. So that's what this save current map tool is for. You can see on the top that we are again storing the composition to layman. We are logged in layman. So everything we need to do is fill in some attribute data about the composition. So I will put there again some description. Here you can select layers, current layers from the map, which you want to include in the composition. I want to include all of them, so let's keep it like this and click next. On this next slide, you can enter some metadata about yourself, but let's keep it here and save this composition. And you can see that the composition was saved successfully to layman catalog. So far, we have loaded layers, created data, and saved map compositions, which is really something that every one of you can do right now with those tools, whether you use QGIS or web application. It's important to mention that the metadata of all the compositions that you save to layman are automatically registered in MITSCA metadata catalog as well. And that means one thing, that this way you can create great community data store. You might have some interesting data which could help others, so simply publish them on the portal and share. And for browsing the existing data, there is the compositions panel. So let's move to this one. It's some way similar to the data sources panel, as there are tabs connected to the metadata catalog and to layman. But this time we are not seeing map layers, but map compositions. So in this MITSCA tab, you can see compositions that already exist on the server. This one is the one we have created a few minutes ago. And this is the same one, but stored in layman storage. So this is the composition itself. This is the metadata about it. But when you want to open it in this map application, it doesn't matter whether you do it from the metadata catalog or from layman catalog. The result is the same. So let's try and open some other composition which someone else prepared. Simply click on the composition, and now you can choose to continue, which means that it opens this composition in a brand new empty map, or merge compositions, which will take the layers from the composition and merge it with your actual map. Let's click continue and open the composition as it was prepared. Okay, there is probably one last thing that I should mention, that you can also share those compositions to social media. You can do it either from here, from the compositions panel with this button. Then you have the social networks to choose here, or there is a special separate tool for sharing here, which offers the same. Well, that was a short summary of the data management tools available in HSLayers. And let's move to the rest of the presentation.